3 to 4 at a time, and that would just be mundane. I'd get my attention span would get lost. I wouldn't go back to it. I can press 2 buttons and interact now with my entire database, with my entire realtor referrals, set appointments with agents. If I'm on the recruiting side, same aspect, right? And really keep my past customers as cheerleaders of my business, my referral partners and realtors, cheerleaders of my business, right? And showing that value. And we want to make that simple. So Mitch is on here. Mitch is also on the Bonzo side. He's one of our, leadership team on the sales side. I want to have Mitch run through high level the features of Bonzo. And then what we'll do is we'll talk about the special pricing that we have initiated for this group after this. So Mitch, kick it off, brother.
Jason, thank you very much for the introduction. Super excited to be here in front of you guys, showing you around the platform. Some cool things we'll obviously go through. A couple things I want to talk about before we get started into the content itself, surrounding your phone number and communication at Bonzo. So when you guys do join us, we can and will provide you with the phone number local to whatever area code you guys live in specifically. Otherwise, if you do have dedicated business numbers, we can port those. We can talk about that at a later time. But that aside, whatever number you do end up selecting with us here at Bonzo is going to be recognized as a business contact with the cell phone carriers. We do go through a very high level verification process with that. So we're going to give you, some checkpoints along the way to make sure that you kind of see where things are at in that process. This is going to give you high level access to your customers via text messages, phone calls, bulk messaging, video messaging, the whole deal. So this is necessary to go through with FCC regulations, and et cetera. So we do this process for you guys so you do have that access to your customers and communication.
Hey, Mitch, real quick, I want to touch on this.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought this up. I'm sorry to interject, but this is really, really important for everybody, because as of August 31st, if your business is not fully registered and verified with the carriers, your messages will not be sent. The carriers will completely block them. So if you are on what's called peer-to-peer network and you are not on A2P, which was recently rolled out, if you're still sending what is called unverified traffic as of August 31st, which is just next month, those messages will not be sent. So we take care of that registration for you on your behalf. You don't have to worry about it. We bring it directly to the carriers. There's another partner called the DCAs. We make sure that your business is fully registered. We collect your EI information, your address, your website, to make sure you have the right language on your website to be registered. We take care of all of this for you. And this is what Mitch is showing right here. It's a 6-step verification process through business, TCR, messaging, carrier, calling, and even optimized calling. So we even take another step further to make sure that you've probably witnessed it before. But if you're calling somebody from a platform, a lot of times it goes straight to voicemail. It's because those partners, which are like Apple and Android, if that number is not saved in the end user's phone, they're just going to unrecognize it and send it directly to voicemail. They don't want that end user being disrupted by somebody calling that they don't have saved in their phone. This extra step that we give enables that end user's phone will actually ring. Whether your phone, this phone number is saved in their contacts or not, their phone will ring. It will not show up as potential spam. It will not show up as scam likely. It will ring their phone. So I just wanted to bring some context there. And Mitch, can you just enlarge your screen just a tiny bit so we have a little bit clear vision on what you're going through? Awesome. Thank you. Sorry, Mitch, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. And one other thing I do see a couple of messages in chat. Feel free to throw stuff in there. Jason and myself will either address that during the call or towards the end as we get to questions and whatnot. So feel free to throw anything in the chat as we go. Now, as we take a look at campaigns, so this is going to be kind of the base, the first foundation of Bonzo. So this is where you're going to be able to build automated messaging structures, whether it's for initial outreach, kind of introducing yourself to new prospects as they come in, more drip feed style things for maybe customers that aren't actively ready to pursue a loan or refinance opportunity, or maybe even longer term, like post close, you just stay in front of customers for referral purposes, et cetera. You can do all of that with our campaigns. We do have some templates available for you guys, 23 of them to be exact. 13 are going to be converting style, which is what we're looking at right now. These are going to be a little bit more aggressive, initial outreach, introductory, things like that. And then we do also have 10 nurturing campaigns. So these are going to be those longer term drip feed style. All of our campaign templates do have content in them. You guys can plug and play with them as they are, but they're really designed to be kind of a framework for you to build off of as you get kind of more comfortable and just see how this works. Use them as a template to build off of and make it unique to your voice and your business. The reason being for that is I might create a campaign that I think is the bee's knees, and I show it to you guys and say, hey man, this thing kind of stinks. I don't want to send this to anybody. So you can go through and edit and change and make these messages and campaigns unique to yourself. Now, as we take a look at a campaign in detail and the structure and everything we can do here, we can see exactly how long a campaign is. And within each day of that campaign, we can see how many and what kind of events are going to occur. So we have 4 different kinds of events at Bonzo that can happen on a given campaign day, 3 of which are outbound client receiving. Those are our text messages, emails, and our ringless voicemails. The 4th event is a task. So I'm going to focus on those outbound events first, just kind of cover that in detail. And then that task conversation will segue us out of the campaigns. So looking at text messages, as we build this, you'll see these pink bubbles throughout that as we read this message, it's very generic and open-ended. Hey, person, first name, this is my name with my company name. That's because these pink bubbles are going to be auto-filling or merging information into the message itself. So we call these merge tags. It's going to pull information from your client profile, fill in that message for you. So whether you send this to 1 person or 1,000 people, everybody gets a custom tailored message based on their profile information. So for example, if I were to send this to Jason, it would say, hey, Jason, this is Mitch over at Bonzo. So it's going to autofill all of that for you guys. We do have dozens of these tags available. General information tags. These industry related tags are mostly going to be populated with the Lending Pad integration. With you guys at Nexta using Lending Pad, this is going to autofill all of these categories for you. You will have this on your customer profiles. We'll take a look at that here in a few minutes, but otherwise you can use all this information in messaging as needed. And then beyond that, you guys are able to create custom merge tags and custom field tags within Bonzo. So whatever additional information you would like to save and store on your customer profiles, you're going to be able to do. Whether you use it in messaging or not is up to you, but you do have that option available. Now, as Jason and I kind of discussed there at the beginning, that phone number verification, very, very important, very, very high level. Even though we go through that process, the carriers won't hesitate to hit you with spam if they feel that their platforms are getting abused and taken advantage of. We do have some safety features built in, and I will cover each of those as we go. The first of which is a character counter for all text messages. Just letting you know that if messages are starting to get a little bit bloated, it is something that carriers may start to look for over time. For the most part, not going to be a major factor. But again, if it is something that's done repetitive and for long periods of time, it can get you in a little bit of a hot water situation. So we do just give you that warning on all messages.
Just some context on that too, Mitch, real quick. On the character limit, they look at how many 150 characters, essentially what's called a text segment, right? And so if you look at a carrier, AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon, they all have their different algorithms, how they look at text messages. And so again, educating you guys through the process of making sure that your messages get delivered is part of being the Bonzo community. It's not like, hey, just go out here and figure it out yourself. We're gonna give you the guidelines to make sure that you're successful. So for instance, AT&T is really big on content, right? So if you've got a bunch of exclamation points and emojis and special characters, it's going to start to flag and filter those messages out, right? Same thing with T-Mobile. If it's more than, let's say, 3 segments, they're going to start to filter that out, right? So paying attention and knowing that how can I optimize my messages to ensure that they're getting delivered? That's part of being in the Bonzo community. It's not just around, hey, we're giving you a piece of technology, is we're giving the tools and the know-how to be successful with your messages.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you, Jason, for that. And like I said, there's a couple other areas we'll talk about those as we go, are these safety features. So I will be sure to highlight that for you guys. In terms of media and content that you can share in our messages, we have a full video, GIF, and emoji library. So you guys can use emojis and messages as needed. All of our GIFs are natively hosted, so you guys can search whatever you'd like to. We'll populate accordingly. GIFs are a great way to connect with your customers more on that person-to-person kind of environment. They're a great way to add kind of a fun, personalized layer to messages. So we certainly encourage you guys to give them a try. We use them all the time and get some great responses. So
20% increase, Mitch. 20%
yes.
increase. When you add a GIF to a text message, your response rates increase by on average 20%. It breeds that personality flavor. Again, going back to the foundation that people do business with people, you're able to personalize and show your personality through a digital. Right. We live in a digital economy. Show your personality. We're going to win more relationships that way. Highly encourage those gifts in your communication.
For sure. And then our full video library. So we will talk about videos in some more detail here in a little bit, but I do just want to show you that you do have access to a full video library. You guys can record videos right here on Bonzo itself. We do have 2 video formats for you guys to utilize. Default is for our emails. I'll talk about that here momentarily. And then our MMS format is for text messages. What I do want to also show you here is this 20-second limit on our text videos. Again, another safety feature that I wanted to highlight for you guys. It's for a few reasons. The first of which is thanks to TikTok, nobody has an attention span longer than 20 seconds anymore as it is. But more importantly, that is going to be a safety feature for you guys. So keeping those video file sizes small will help keep you under the radar with the carriers. So we're going to help you play by the rules in that aspect. The other reason for this is something unique to Bonzo, is that the videos you send through Bonzo itself are actual video files. So when your customer receives that video and presses play, it's not a link that launches them into a web browser or a landing page or an app store. It's an actual video message. So similar to that GIF, adding just a nice kind of personalized layer of, whether it's comedy or what have you to that message, sending a real video file and not a link is going to be much better engaged with and received much more positively by your audience. Now, with our emails, more or less everything I just discussed is also applied here within emails. So you will see those merge tags here throughout all of your content and media, again, at the bottom. But that default video format that I mentioned for emails allows us to embed those videos directly into the body of the message itself. So your clients do get to see a little bit of a preview of that content before they click to watch. Again, rather than just have a link on there, hopefully a little bit more engaging for them and likely to watch that video. And then lastly, our ringless voicemail. So as the name suggests, this is ringless. It goes direct to their inbox, but we do also ping the carriers to leave them a missed call. So they will receive a missed call notification and that voicemail from you, even though we don't actively ring their phone during this event. Nice thing about that is, as I'm sure you guys are aware, most people aren't going to pick up their phone for an unknown number. I believe the percentage is about 93% of people will not answer the phone for an unknown number, but 97% of those people will still listen to their voicemail. So it's a great way to get your voice out there. They can put a little bit of audio to your name and know that you're someone to answer for and communicate with moving forward. Now, with our task, so this is strictly an internal event for you and any team members underneath your platform at Bonzo. So more so like a calendar, whether it's for following up or what have you. So I often see these used in either a day one situation or on the last day of a campaign. So just kind of a couple examples to get your wheels spinning on this. Let's say day one, this task pops up and says, hey, Mitch is a new customer. Let's call him up specifically, introduce ourselves, maybe do a little bit of exploring, conversation-wise. Is he looking to refi? Is he looking to purchase? What have you? So it's a nice way to trigger maybe some initial outreach to that customer. Or on the last day of a campaign, let's say this task pops up and says, hey, haven't heard from Mitch in a while now. It's been, a few months. Let's see where he's at. Maybe he has some questions. Maybe he's not quite ready to proceed with that application or what have you. So these tasks can be a great way in an automated campaign structure to either initially outreach to people or also potentially make sure you don't lose anybody just because they aren't actively engaged in that conversation, initially. So certainly encourage you to utilize these and set some nice reminders for yourself along the way. Now I'm going to hop down to our task menu a little bit further down just to follow up that task discussion. So this is where you will be able to manage or view any of your current, upcoming, and overdue tasks. You can also add tasks here manually. So this same structure applies for those automated campaign tasks as well. You guys are able to assign these to yourself or anybody on your team. So if you have processors, LOAs, et cetera, you can task it to them as needed. We can trigger these to go off any day and time into the future and recur at whatever frequency you need them to. So you and your teammates are always going to be on top of these recurring events as you're busy with day-to-day conversations and whatnot. And we can sync these to your email calendar. So Gmail or Outlook will be able to sync all of these events to your calendar. So you won't miss anything as they pop up. Now, as we move into people, so this is where database management is going to occur. We're going to talk about bulk messaging here, filtering throughout your database, and then from there transition into one-on-one conversation. So everybody within your database is searchable by name, email, phone number. We also do have filters here in the top right corner that allow you to set certain parameters and whatnot to filter through that database as needed. So each of these drop-down menus can be mixed and matched accordingly to pull specific views within the database. We then also have advanced filters that use in a lot of the information from LendingPad, whether it's interest rates or credit scores or loan close dates, et cetera. We can get even more detailed with those search results. Now, so let's say we've set parameters, whether it's pre-approved clients with whatever credit score or your referral partners, et cetera, and you want to do something with that group of people at one time, whether it's a message or phone, power dial session, et cetera. We will hit this button here in the top left corner, right next to our name in the column header. That will highlight everybody on the page, bring up this quick menu at the bottom of my screen. From here, we have the option to do a broadcast or bulk message. We can do this in an email, text, or voicemail format. Now, with our emails, as I'm sure a lot of you are aware, your native email provider does have restrictions on either the number of recipients or the number of emails that you can send per day before they potentially hit you with spam on the email side. So here at Bonzo, we do have our own integrated server that if you have over 100 people selected, we will prompt you that we are defaulting to that server for you. What that means is we will take the weight off of your native Google or Outlook servers and use the Bonzo in-house server to host those emails. Email still appears if it comes from you, nothing changes there. It still gets to your end user all the same, but we won't restrict or cap you in terms of volume or number of recipients for that email. So it gives you guys the peace of mind to send that email to whoever you need to, and you don't have to worry about, like I said, getting hit with a blacklist or spam from that email provider. Now, with our broadcast text message or bulk text messages, last safety feature that I will talk about, I promise I'm starting to sound like a Subaru commercial. With that character counter here, once again, if you go over 150 characters in a bulk text message, we are going to prevent that from being sent. Just because the spam risk on this is a little bit higher than standard messaging, we want to do what we can here to protect you. So keeping this to a 1-unit text message is going to be the best practice here. So keep these short and sweet. Otherwise, you can send that to as many people as you'd like.
Mitch, just some carrier education here. It's based off of, the reason why I do this is because when you're on the A to P messaging, application to peer messaging, it's all about throughput, right? So if you're on peer to peer and you're not registered, you can send 1 to 2 text messages per second. On A2P, you can tee up 14 to 16 messages per second. But it also relates to how many messages with the same message are being sent at any given time. So when you have multiple segments sending at any given time, the carriers are going to start to red flag that. So we want to ensure that deliverability. That bulk text message is going to be, we're going to segment that to one segment to ensure that all of those messages get delivered. That's the reason why we do that. It's all about throughput, has nothing to do with the compliance. It's more about throughput to make sure that your messages are getting delivered.
Yep, absolutely. And then last thing to show you here on this menu is our power dialer. So this is built right into the platform, so you guys can set up call sessions with any number of people you'd like. We can do pre-recorded voicemails. It's obviously going to be nice to save you guys from having to repeat the same voicemail, maybe a dozen or so times. But obviously it's going to be a little bit more generic. You can't address everybody by their first name. I would have a hell of a time trying to address all of you guys by your name in a pre-recorded voicemail. So with that being said, a text message is going to be a really nice way using merge tags to add a nice personal layer of communication to that outreach. So you guys might get a voicemail from me that says something like, hey, this is Mitch over at Bonzo, just touching base on our demo the other day. If you have any questions, please let me know anytime. Then you get a text message that says, hey, your first name, this is Mitch at Bonzo. I just wanted to, follow up. I left you a voicemail. Give me a ring when you have a chance. So just adds a nice little layer of personalization to that. Again, little things to help push that engagement rate up when possible. Now, as we take a look at one-on-one conversation, within a client profile, we are going to be able to, I gotta scroll up here just a little bit. We are going to be able to see and track any emails, text messages, and record and listen back to any phone calls that are had on the platform. So really, really nice way for you guys to chronologically organize these conversations. If you happen to be emailing with a customer at some point and then you start texting and you don't remember when that was discussed, et cetera, you don't have to go searching for it. It's all going to be right here for you guys. So really nice way to manage this conversation. If you're out on the road, we have a Bonzo app that you can do all of your communication with as well. Take that phone call, have that conversation organically. When you get back to your office, you can listen to that call, take notes, do with that information as needed. So very, very nice way, like I said, to keep everything nice and chronological. We also have our SMS tab here. We can type up that text message, send that away, and then click right over to our email and send an email from their profile. So not only is everything organized chronologically, but adding to that conversation is all done from one location. So very, very efficient for you guys. Now, you will also see these blue messages in here. These are actually notes. So these, similar to like a task for a campaign, a note is an internal message for you guys within customer communication. So if you do have multiple team members or even just yourself, you want to leave notes in that conversation flow. So it's kind of a breadcrumb trail of reminders. That's going to be a great way to utilize that. Now you will see within a few of these, Sam Williams is tagged kind of like a tweet. So if we type the @ symbol here for those of you that have process LOAs, anybody that might be joining you at Bonzo, we can tag someone from within your team and add them as a shared user. So when you tag someone from within your team and send that note, they become a shared user. Looking at the right side of the screen here, these shared users are going to be team members that have access to this customer profile. So if you do have a processor that you need to gather additional information and whatnot, add them as a shared user. They can then jump in, communicate with that prospect moving forward. You don't need to middleman that relationship. From there, processor jumps in, says, "Hey, Jordan, I need this, this file or this documentation, et cetera." So it's gonna be a nice way for you guys as a team manage that communication. And again, everything is logged right here, so you will be able to have full accountability with that conversation. We do also have tags. These are going to be a great way for you guys to add further layers of kind of disposition to your client and database. Tags can be absolutely whatever you want them to be. It is completely up to you guys how you want to utilize these. Search for them within your database. Add that as, again, an additional layer of disposition and searchability within your prospects. Now, looking at the details here in the top, right next to our communication tab, where we're currently looking, the details is going to give you all the base information and co-borrower information here on your client's profile. We then also have this mortgage tab here, which is using the lending pad integration. You'll be able to access all this loan information on hand within your customer profiles, have very, very easy access to this, use it in messaging, using merge tags, et cetera. This is also where we can add buyer and listing agents to the customer profile, and adding a buyer agent here. So I'm going to ask you to keep Realtor Jimmy here in mind. We're going to revisit him in just a little bit, but this is going to give you access to the Realtor portal and link this prospect to this buyer agent within the Realtor portal. So I do want to get through pipelines here in just a minute before we discuss that Realtor portal, just so that all makes sense. But this is going to be a great way for you to kind of link that buyer agent to a prospect and then access that Realtor portal from there. So as we take a look, one thing quickly, I do want to show you our conversation. So we have this communication, phone calls, emails, text messages, all that's coming in. And where do you go to manage that conversation? Well, aptly named, it will be our conversation tab. So any of those active communications as they come in, again, text, phone calls, emails, all come to one central location. Populate, accordingly based on, chronological order. So it's going to be a really nice way for you guys to manage all communication in one location. You don't need to navigate to different areas or different applications, et cetera. Now, as we take a look at pipelines, this is a very, very cool feature for you guys to not only automate a lot of processes, we'll talk about that, but kind of organize and view your database in more so real time. Obviously, you receive a new lead. The end goal is a closed loan or a closed refinance, but there's going to be steps along the way to getting there. And Pipelines is going to help you kind of visualize that and make sure you're keeping track of where everybody is at a given point in time. So in this example, lead stages, we are following customers from new lead, ideally to that closed loan or closed refinance opportunity. So here we can organize people by dragging and dropping them from one stage to another very easily. We can also automate campaign messaging within these pipelines. So on some of these pipeline stages, you will see campaign messaging, others you won't. So you can set campaign messaging to trigger at specific stages as needed. And this is going to be a really nice way, especially with those drip feed campaigns, to make sure that you're continuing to touch on those customers that aren't actively working with you at that point in time. So for example, let's say, we have a customer come in that's interested in purchasing, you're starting to talk to them, communicate, what's going on. And let's say Chris is having a conversation with you and he says, after maybe a few weeks, "Hey, listen, this has been super helpful so far, but I'm realizing I'm not quite ready to move forward with this. I got to get my ducks in a row personally. Give me a few months and I think I might be in a better position to move forward." You say, "Chris, no worries. I completely understand. This is a big step. Do your thing. I'll be here when you're ready to move forward. I'll stay in touch over the next few months, but if you ever need anything, let me know." So we can take Chris here from a purchase category of working and move him over to another purchase category of nurture. So we can just drag him over here, put him in that nurture category. Now, once Chris were to be reassigned or put into that new pipeline stage, this campaign will trigger automatically. In this example, a hyper nurture 6-month-long campaign. So you can rest assured that anybody in this stage, or Chris now is a new person in that stage, is going to start receiving messaging from you over the length of that campaign, or in this case, 6 months. So it's going to be a great way for you guys to ensure that customers, that aren't active with you right now are still hearing from you in the background, receiving pertinent information. Hey, Chris, how are things going? I thought, I just want to touch base to see if there's anything I can help you with. Hey, Chris, I thought this article about the home buying process might be of interest to you. So it's going to be a really nice way to ensure that those customers are still hearing from you in the background while you're busy doing other stuff. Now, within these stages, we can also send update messages. So keeping your referral partners and whatnot in the loop at any point in time is going to be critical, obviously, for you guys. So we can send update text, emails, or voicemail messages to the primary borrower, co-borrower, buyer listing agent, and secondary contacts. Now, these are all individual messages. So, obviously you don't want to necessarily be sending the same stuff to the buyer agent as the listing agent, et cetera. So as you move a client from one stage to another, we can trigger these messages to go out. So you can update everybody all at one time. You don't have to take the time to send a message to the buyer agent and then the listing agent. Bonzo is going to handle that process for you guys. Now, with the LOS integration, that is going to further automate pipelines as a whole. So as you hit milestone markers within your pipeline process, whether it's application created, someone gets pre-approved, the application, their loan closes, whatever it is, those milestone markers push to Bonzo automatically. And then we can take that information and route your prospect through this pipeline or from pipeline stage to pipeline stage based on that milestone update. So if someone goes from pre-approved to approved, we can take that information from LendingPad, move the prospect to that new pipeline stage, trigger that campaign messaging automatically in the background, fire off all of those update messages to the buyer listing agents, et cetera. And all of that is done in the background for you guys. So very, very powerful, very, very high level automations can be done with these pipelines and that LOS integration. So it's going to save you guys a ton of time and keep things very organized in the process. So now that we've covered pipelines, I do want to go back and revisit our realtor portal. So I'm going to hop back into our people section here. And from here, I want to show you how you can label or kind of dispose people within your database as a referral partner or a realtor. So if we select a few people here, back on that quick menu where we had our broadcast and power dialer options, we can hit more actions and mark as a realtor. So as you mark people within your database as a realtor, that will then put them into the realtor portal. Now to access that, we go to our drop-down menu, options drop-down menu, and select our realtors. This is now going to give you access to all of the referral partners within your database. And you can then see the prospects that are assigned or that they are assigned to, and then get a pipeline breakdown. So Realtor Jimmy, who I asked you to keep an eye on here, we can see that he currently has 6 deals and 6 total deals. We can then go to his prospects directly and see every single person within the database that he is listed as a buyer agent for. So it can be very easy for you guys to quickly access his prospects, kind of give him a little bit of a rundown of where everybody's at, what's going on with those customers at a given point in time. We can also do a pipeline breakdown for Realtor Jimmy as well. So we can filter by specific pipelines. We were looking at lead stages a moment ago, so I'm going to select that one. And then back to Realtor Jimmy, pipeline breakdown. We can then run through this with Jimmy and say, hey, we've got one person in contract right now. We've got one in credit repair. We're going to, kind of navigate that with them. And as they, get through that process, we'll move forward. Got one customer, they're a refinance candidate, not actively pursuing it right now. We just want to see what's going on with the market and interest rates, et cetera. So we'll keep working with them as we go. And then that lead you sent me over the weekend, I did contact them earlier this week. I have not heard back yet, but I will follow up with them tomorrow before we head into the weekend. So really nice way to break this down with your referral partners, walk them through what's going on. And this is the first iteration of this as well. We are continuing to roll out and add improvements to this. Next phase is going to be sending updates, via email, where you can break this stuff down to your referral partners, and they're going to be able to get those updates, whenever you decide to send them to them. So really, really nice way to get everybody up to date and break this down for your referral partners in the process. Now, so we've covered pretty much up to this point. This has been the main meat and potatoes of the presentation. So if you guys have made it this far, it's going to be pretty smooth sailing from here. So we did cover tasks already. So I want to hop into videos and cover a couple other cool features here. So within our videos, we do have the ability to edit these front and back. So we can start and stop the videos when and where you need them to, kind of trim off that awkward, first and last few seconds where, you're looking for the pause button. We can also close caption these videos, so you can edit the information discussed on camera, make sure it's accurate to everything you were saying on screen. We do also have script. So if you like to do kind of more marketing style videos, maybe be a little bit more animated on camera, you can type up a script that will be on screen as like kind of a teleprompter. So you can be, like I said, a little bit more animated, a little bit more engaged with the camera and reading off screen. So it makes your videos a little bit more presentable and whatnot to the end viewer. And we do also have a Google Chrome extension called Bonzo Presenter. And this is a very cool way to do a few things. One, it's going to put your camera on screen and allow you to record over any web page in Google Chrome. So this can be a great tool for you guys to kind of educate and communicate with your customers. Maybe pull up like, the application page and walk them through, hey, do this first and then, upload this or what have you. Make sure that they kind of know what those steps are through that process. Or maybe pull up like a news article on interest rates and what that means, for prospective home buyers or refinance opportunities and kind of break that stuff down. I'm sure you deal with people all the time that don't know the first thing about, refinancing or applying for a mortgage. So walking them through this stuff and being very direct with them kind of in this one-on-one structure, even though it's a video, is going to give those customers confidence that, you're willing to work with them and break things down and keep things relatively simple and educate them so they understand every step of the process along the way. Another cool tool that you can utilize that for, and Jason's got a few videos saved on here, pull up a realtor's website and record over their webpage and send that to them in an email. They'll get that preview of their website in that email video in that default video format. Curiosity alone, I'd be stunned if you have anything less than pretty close to 100% engagement. So it could be a kind of a playful but aggressive way to get in front of some of those referral partners that you're trying to do business with, and hopefully get in front of them and get a meeting set up, et cetera. This tool is also a great way, going back to our realtor portal, if you do want to do kind of a more detailed breakdown with your referral partners. Go to that realtor's prospects and set up that the Bonzo Presenter and talk through, hey, Peggy Doe, she's a nurture refinance candidate. I last communicated with her in December, not a great look there, that kind of thing. So you can give a nice breakdown on camera with that referral partner, kind of talk them through everything that's going on with their prospects within your database. Then team chat, this is just going to be internal chat with you and any of your team members. So nothing too crazy going on here feature-wise. Analytics is all data provided from Bonzo about your engagement with your database and different kind of statistics that are going on here. So we're going to give you some stats on text messages, emails, phone call data, et cetera. You can manipulate all of this using our calendar. So if you kind of want to audit, the month to date or compare timelines, historically, et cetera, you can manipulate all of that data as needed. And then our landing pages. So this is a very, very cool feature. This is going to be a great tool for you guys to organize and inbound new leads into the platform from a variety of sources, whether they're, whether you're actively recruiting new referral partners, maybe you set up an event for agents in the area and you use a landing page as like an RSVP source, capture their information, confirm who's going to be there, et cetera. Or maybe you work very closely with some referral partners and you want to create a co-branded landing page. I'll kind of talk you through that example here. So with a co-branded landing page, you as the LO can create this landing page for your referral partner, and they can distribute that however they want, whether they want to host it on their website, send it to their customers as possibly like a open house registration, RSVP link, et cetera. However they want to distribute that, they can. Now, when that new customer receives that link, in this example, they would click start to begin. In this case, they would fill out their first name, last name, email, phone number, and their address. And you can customize this however you want, add whatever form fields you'd like them to fill out to these landing pages. But ultimately, when they click submit on this button here, that prospect is automatically going to be added to the Bonzo database. So your referral partner does not need to send you that information themselves. The customer essentially is doing it for them. When they send that information through that landing page, profile is built in Bonzo. All of that information is added to their profile. From there, we can add a tag to that customer as needed. We can funnel them into your pipeline process. If you want to organize them as a new lead right off the bat, you can. And we can kick off campaign messaging to them. So if you get a list of new leads from an open house over the weekend, you can begin sending them messages first thing Monday morning from a campaign without having to do any of that yourself. You guys can sleep in, whatever you want to do, and Bonzo is going to handle that initial outreach to those customers on your behalf. So very, very cool stuff. Really, really nice way to lead capture and begin communicating with those new customers, as quickly as possible. A couple of things I do like to show here within the landing pages as well is we can add a video preview here that when clicked will start to play. This can be a great opportunity to, maybe have a little introductory video about yourself. Hey, this is Mitch, blah, blah, blah. Looking forward to working with you. Or maybe have your referral partner on there and say something like, hey, this is Mitch over at 123 Real Estate, passing you along to so-and-so over at Nexa. We've been great partners for 37 minutes now. So if you guys need anything at all, let us know, and we're going to, help you through this every step of the way. So it can be a nice way to trigger some of that initial, introduction right off the bat. And lastly, so we ended on that submit button. Obviously, they're built into Bonzo, receiving all of that information from you, et cetera, via that automatic campaign. But what we can do from this landing page as well is give your clients the ability to redirect and potentially apply, via landing pads, send them to your website, learn more about you. However you guys want to utilize the redirect option, you can do so. And one other option for our landing pages is in conjunction with our social media ads. So we can help you build ads on both Facebook and Instagram directly on Bonzo. We are a partner with Meta to do so. So what that means for you guys is due to our partnership, we more or less kind of co-sign on the ads that we help build and present to that platform. If you've ever tried to build an ad on Facebook Direct, it can kind of be a pain in the butt to get that approved and posted on their website. So with our partnership, we kind of, like I said, co-sign on that. So when that ad is presented, Facebook's going to kind of give that a much more easy green light. So your ad will be posted in front of your target audience much more quickly than your competitors building the same ad for the same target audience on Facebook Direct, because they're going to have to go through that very rigorous background check where we kind of help you bypass that, almost like a TSA pre-check, so to speak. Now, with that ad running, we're going to get data back from Facebook and Instagram and who's engaged, who's not engaged, et cetera. We can help you retarget the ad on the fly. Make sure it's going to be in front of the audience most likely to engage with that advertisement. So you're going to get the most, effective ad campaign while it's running, most clicks per dollar, all that kind of good stuff. Now, with that ad running, you've got people engaged. How do you capture that information? You can have a button on there that, get in touch with me or find out more. It launches them to that landing page. They fill that out. They're built into Bonzo, tagged as a Facebook lead, organized in your pipeline, receiving that introductory campaign messaging, et cetera. So these can be a really powerful way, especially in conjunction with those landing pages, to capture those social media leads, get them organized into Bonzo, get the ball rolling from there, et cetera. So that is about everything I have. Jason, if you have anything that I may have forgotten, I'd appreciate you jumping in. But otherwise, I'm open to any questions.
No, this is great. And so just a couple things out here. This is another reason why I love the Bonzo Ads Manager here, because you could take your entire database of realtors, right? Every realtor in your area, upload them directly as a custom audience and retarget them with an ad. It is lights out. I mean, I remember, like, I always just say, like, I want every agent in my area to know my name, right? And I'm sure a lot of you are like me. It's like, okay, I go to committee meetings, I host events, committee meetings, I host events, meet with realtors. Well, I can bypass a lot of that, right? I can now get my name and brand known to every single agent in my area, right? So they know who I am now. And now I have a pipeline built out to reach out to these agents with a video. So they're seeing my face again. They already know who I am. I have some type of visibility and trust already built in. And now that stickiness, right? I now become more advantageous for them to meet with me, right? So again, we want to create that brand awareness to where realtors spend their time. They spend their time on Facebook and Instagram. And then when I reach out to them on a more personalized level, maybe I'm filming myself on their website, I send them a text after that. Yeah, that connection ratio is going to skyrocket now that they know my brand. But this BAM is fantastic for retargeting past customers, realtors, et cetera. Two things I just really wanted to mention as well is that we're really big on onboarding and support. So we'll touch on the onboarding piece in a second as we talk about pricing. But from a support perspective, you see it right there in the left-hand corner, the little pink button. If you have any questions, concerns, how-tos, our team is right there to support you, answer your questions. We have tons of articles and videos, how-tos. We also have a private Facebook group that is extremely active. So again, ask your questions on multiple avenues, go directly to our support Facebook group, right? You're going to have all of your answers. And of course, our onboarding is very, it's very in depth and very educational. So, all right. I think I want to just make sure we got all of our questions asked in the chat. Anthony asks, is the dialer single line or multi-line? It is single line. And the reason for this is because the carriers, again, are cracking down on multi-line. I know multi-lines exist, and they're there for a reason and they can be effective, but they are cracking down on multi-line. Phone burner just got cracked really hard by the carriers because of multi-line. They're going to be cutting that practice very soon. So we want to make sure that all of your practices in Bonzo are compliant and they're safe, but you're still able to optimize and 10x your activities. The other question is the pricing. So the price, someone says the pricing was the issue for some of us. So how it works is, again, once your people are in Bonzo, we don't nickel and dime you for your messaging, right? A lot of these services are like, okay, we're going to charge you 5 cents per text message or 2 cents per email and 10 cents per minute on your call. All of your messaging is unlimited. That's including your voicemail drops, everything. So how it works in your pricing on retail without any discounts, on a pro level, we call it like your single seat package, which also comes with 2 seats. So think of it as your seat, and then it could be a processor LOA, could be another realtor that you want to do some co-marketing with, junior loan officer, whatever the case may be. So that pro seat that comes with 2 seats, that's typically $200 a month. That does not come with pipelines. Pipelines, what we saw where you can track where your prospects are, that's an additional $25 a month. So, and then what is included with that is that the first month, we call it your database import. This could be past customers. This could be a list of realtors. You can import a list of 1,000 people. Then every month after that, you can add 200 more people into your account. All right. 200 more prospects into your account. Once those people are in your account, it's unlimited messaging to them forever. Okay. On the elite plan, so if you have a bigger team, that's 5 seats. You have an initial database import of 2,500 people for the entire 5 seats. And then every month you can add 500 more people into your account. That's at $375. With the pipelines, it's $400 a month. With the Nexa discounts, we are giving a couple things here. First, $50 off per month on your subscription. So anybody involved with Nexa is $50 off per month on your subscription. So instead of $200, it's $150. We're also giving you the pipelines. So again, typically that's $225 a month. You're saving $75 per month on your subscription specifically for this group. So again, it's $50 off and free pipelines. We're also spreading the onboarding costs. So onboarding on a pro account is typically $299. It's a one-time. That's your onboarding and setup as well. So that's set up with the carrier verification, everything. It's typically $299. And then on the elite, it's $599. We're spreading that out over 3 months. So that $299, you're paying $100 per month, right, for 3 months instead of having a bulk payment there. So again, we want to spread that out, make it a little more cost advantageous for everybody. So again, it's $150 a month. That's including pipelines with a Nexa, and your onboarding is also spread. The other thing that we're doing for Nexa members is that you're automatically put under what's called a super user. This allows, again, we're all about community at Bonzo. So when you're put under a super user, anybody else in Nexa can share campaigns with other Nexa members. So if you go to a campaign, you say share, that campaign gets shared with the other Nexa members. So if you're in a Facebook group, your private group, and you're saying, hey guys, I created a great campaign, or someone else says that, all I have to do is share it. You have access to it in your account. We want to really create that community feel. So again, it's $50 off per month on the subscription plus free pipelines. You're saving $75 a month on the pro. This is month to month. We don't put loan officers into contracts. I'm not a believer in contracts. I think that the technology should do the justification for you, and not hold people because they got sold something. We really want the product to be the selling. Want you to be successful first. That's our end goal. And so, Mitch, if you wouldn't mind, obviously you can sign up through Bonzo through MLO Box portal. But Mitch, if you wouldn't mind putting your registration link in there, that will give you the immediate discounts and then also the discount code. We also have that landing page built for everybody. So if you want to do another demo with Mitch or someone else from our team, you can go to that landing page and book another demo, or you can obviously or just follow up for more questions. Mitch, if you wouldn't mind just put your email in there as well, that'd be great. Dan, you asked, can you explain the spread of the onboarding? Yeah. So the spread just means that instead of paying one time for $299 up front, it's spread over 3 months. So you'd pay $100 per month for 3 months to cover that onboarding fee. All right, cool. Any other questions? Any other questions? Fantastic. Nicole Waters asked AIM. Can you expand on that? Are we an AIM member? We were AIM company partner of the year. But yeah, AIM discounts. Well, it's either the Nexa discount or the AIM discount. So they're very similar in nature. I do believe the Nexa it might be a little bit better because we're doing the onboarding spread. But Nexa is and I actually think you get the pipelines with Nexa. So yeah, there's some benefits there. All right. If anybody doesn't have any more questions, I really appreciate everybody's time. Tamara, we're going to be at this year's Nexa Fest. I think we're going to. We're talking with Andrew about that. I think we're going to be there. Yes. Anyone that's using Arrive, by the way, it's the same process. We have the entire integration pre-built. So obviously they don't have a direct integration, but you have the entire integration pre-built through what am I thinking of? Zapier. Sorry, geez, my mind just moved like. So it's the template's already there. You just say, you want the Arrive template. It is $100 for us to build that one time and set that up for you. But again, that template's ready to go, and all the milestones will be automated after that. Fantastic. All right. I really appreciate everybody's time. Again, I know everyone's very busy. Hopefully we brought some value. Always want to try to bring some value to everybody, whether you're using Bonzo or not. Next week, we're doing a webinar. We do also a coaching program with Russell Petty from Grow Mortgage and Andy Zeman from another company. But they also every month they give out nuggets of takeaways, best practices. Russell just talked about ChatGPT, whether you're on Bonzo or not. We like to, again, give as much value as we possibly can to our members, whether through our webinars, coaching groups, etc. So that is all part of your membership to Bonzo as well. All right. Thanks everybody for your time. Again, if you have any questions, Anthony asks, sorry, I'll answer this last one. Yes, we have a mobile app that runs parallel with the web app. So there's a mobile app. We know that you're not always out in front of a computer. The mobile app allows you to text on the go, call on the go, even broadcast messages on the go. So again, if you want your phone to blow up, do that broadcast from the mobile app. Awesome. All right. Thank you, everybody. Really appreciate your time. And hopefully we'll see you on the Bonzo community side.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, everybody.